Welcome to 101. I'm Rick Kaplan. My guest today is David Cohen of Hampden Design and Construction. How are you today, David?
I'm great. How are you, Rick?
I'm doing great. So Hampden Design and Construction primarily is residential
Correct.
construction.
Yes.
So how are things going with residential construction? We primarily talk about commercial. So this is going to be interesting to me to find out what's going on with the commercial construction, the residential construction.
Yeah, it's tricky. The work is certainly out there. People are still wanting to renovate their homes and do improvements on homes, particularly now. While people are living there, they're kind of identifying the deficiencies in their home. So luckily, the work is still out there. The fundamental issue is the state and the towns are beginning to shut down. So there are certain municipalities around the state that are saying no residential work is allowed, just to help control the social distancing and making sure that strangers aren't entering homes and workers are staying kind of safely away from each other. So it's more of a issue with working with towns and making sure work is allowed within the town, opposed to homeowners letting us do work.
Yeah, so you're running into similar situations as the commercial construction companies or commercial building that they can't deal, the cities and towns are pretty much closed down or limited to what you can get done with them right now.
Correct. Yes.
But you have crews out there working on properties right now.
We do. I mean, the further west you go from Boston, they've kind of lightened some of the restrictions up. So some of the more Metro West towns, we're still working, maintaining all the appropriate social distancing and making sure everybody's working safely. Because at the end of the day, the workers need to go home to their families. So as much as we want to keep working and keep giving guys pay and keep, kind of their livelihood going along, we have to also consider that their husbands going home to their families, and we can't put them at risk to bring the virus home. So it's a very tricky thing to balance that. How do you balance, as a business owner, keeping your business going and keeping guys getting paid and bringing in income, but also making it safe for them to go home and to be with their families at the end of the day?
So, are you working on spec homes, or which I know there's probably not a lot of that going on, and it hasn't been, but are these properties already sold?
Yeah, so now is not the greatest time to be doing spec stuff. I mean, it just feels a little, with the general uncertainty with the overall economy, this is not a great time to be carrying mortgages and holding mortgages and all that stuff. So the properties that I am working on are owned by homeowners, and we're renovating either a full home renovation that they've moved out and we've taken over their whole home, or, we've able to kind of separate ourselves from the home and cordon off if they're living at home.
Now, what kind of square footage home are you building right now?
It varies. Like there's a project we're doing in Newton. The house is probably 6,000-7,000 square feet. So they're good sized homes, and workers can work safely. There's enough space to, kind of distance one worker from another. Towns are making these blanket no work zones, because how do you differentiate between someone that wants to just renovate a bathroom where everybody's going to be tight and on top of each other versus a whole home? I mean, they can't make these kind of restrictions.
That's kind of limited right now.
Yeah.
So do you think going forward that the square footage of the homes are going to you're going to start seeing smaller homes because of moving? No one knows what kind of economy we're going into.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I try and keep a positive outlook, and I'm hoping that the economy is always going to keep growing and keep moving along. So I don't know if there's going to be this fundamental pullback and make houses smaller in terms of total square footage. Um, but I think people are going to be a little smarter in what they do, but the economy will come back. The economy will be strong again. It always has. I mean, 2007, 2008 was probably one of the worst I've ever seen, and it's back and stronger than ever. So I'm not worried about overall economy health. It's just getting through this kind of hard time that it's hitting everybody.
so people start, right now, money is cheap. So I'm wondering if there's going to be more renovations being done because people can get a home equity loan for very short terms.
Correct. I mean, that's always kind of like one of the stronger indicators for my industry is how easily people can get money. I think what's impacting it is this kind of uncertainty as to what job am I going to have when we try and get back to some normalcy. There's a lot of industries, restaurants, certain pockets and stuff these industries are just decimated. And it's going to be hard to get people back and then comfortable to say, I feel confident in my job such that I'm going to go get a home equity loan or refinance my mortgage because rates are incredibly low.
Well, after the quarantine for 2 months, I think a lot of people are going to look for expansion in case this ever happens again.
Yes, it's walls tend to move in very quickly.
Yeah, the
So
house gets
yeah,
smaller and smaller.
house gets smaller and smaller. So I think a lot of fun things people will start to do is put like screened-in porches and stuff to help expand their livable space. That's a fun place to be. It's nice to be outside when you've been cooped up inside. So it's tricky out there.
So it's still probably considered a buyer's market because, like I said, the money is cheap. So you might still see people looking to purchase new homes. If you're looking to sell your home, what kind of renovations do you think would be important to do to try to keep your value up and make it attractive to
Right.
people investing?
Right. So people ask me that all the time, like cost versus value. What's the best renovation to do? What's the best thing? Short-term projects to do. It's always great to freshen up the paint, to redo your floors, just kind of give the home kind of a new, fresh look. In terms of renovation projects, additions, renovating existing spaces, I've kind of simplified the statement and said, whatever causes you the most frustration while you're living there will give you the most return on investment. Meaning, if you want to renovate your kitchen, you'll probably get 110% of that value because it's so disruptive in your life. And master bathrooms and master suites and stuff. Renovating your basement, it doesn't really matter how long guys are working in your basement. It doesn't impact your day-to-day life. You wouldn't expect a big return on that investment. So it's really bathrooms, kitchens. It's the same renovation projects that people have been doing years and years and years. But those are the areas I would focus. If you want to really boost your home value, boost your property value and stuff, those are renovations. You always want to be mindful not to overspend in terms of putting in a really, really high-end renovation when your home market fundamentally can't handle it. But if done right and tactfully and appropriately, then those projects really will help boost your home value a lot.
Well, yeah, I had a interview with a gentleman that's part of a data research company.
Yep.
They do data research on foot traffic. One of the things that they were talking about is the Lowe's and the Home Depots, how they're going to be doing very well right now because a lot of people are at home and they're trying to save a little money and they have time, so they might start to do their own little home improvements. So you know how that always ends up, where
Yes, it does.
oh my
Yes, it
God,
does.
this is not right. How do I fix it?
Right.
So would they call you?
They do. I do. It's not a great feeling to have to undo someone's work and put it back together, but it happens. You get, a lot of people have a lot of free time and they're, overly ambitious and homeowners don't necessarily understand building code and sequence of events and how to, kind of the nitty gritty of the business. Yeah, so things sometimes go sideways.
Yeah, but it'll look easy on Google.
It's on Google. These TV shows, they do a whole renovation in a half hour. So,
Right.
so
Exactly.
those DIY shows drive me crazy because, people don't understand that they've been planning it for months and months and months, and they've edited it down to a half hour. But
Yeah.
it's fun.
Well, I hope you stay safe. I hope your crew stays safe. We're speaking with David Cohen of Hampden Design and Construction. David, I thank you for the interview. Have a pleasant afternoon.
You as well, Rick. Thank you for your time. Be safe.
You too. Thank you. Thank you for watching today's interview. If you'd like to be a guest, a sponsor, or even advertise in the New England Real Estate Journal, you'll find our contact information in the description box below. You can also find all our social media platforms so you can follow us, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.